Hi everyone, I am here to talk about the twin flame journey today and what most of us who have been on the journey for a long time encounter. A lot of questions that I notice on forums and other websites, a lot of the questions are similar, and a lot of these situations that I see, a lot of the twin flames who are in the runner chaser phase, a lot of the situations are similar, and I felt called to make this video today to address some common questions that come up on the twin flame journey. I will also be doing a reading for the collective, and I will also be receiving guided messages for some of you for whom this video resonates with. And I would also like to mention that my readings are intended to be timeless, which means that whenever you find this video, 3 months or 6 months after it has been posted, and the messages resonate with you, then that is God's way of bringing the message to you at a time that is appropriate for you. Yeah. So let's get started and let's talk about what's the most common issue that comes up on the twin flame journey. You meet someone and it feels like you've been struck by lightning. It's the only way I can explain it. You feel thunderstruck. And this wondrous being who has come into your life, they very quickly come to dominate your thoughts and feelings, to a point that to those who are not aware of the journey, it may seem like an unhealthy obsession. A lot of you who have been on this journey for a while quickly realize that talking to your friends about this, those who do not understand the specifics of the twin flame journey, it's pointless talking to them. Because they just don't get it, right? They may mean well for you, they probably care about you, and they are asking you to move on from this very toxic person who is just using you and playing you, correct? Wrong. Couldn't be more wrong. Because if this person truly is your twin flame, they are here on this journey with you together to help you uncover low vibration energies that you already hold within your energy body. And your twin flame is your sacred traveler who has signed up with you before you were born to help you release all these low vibration energies and manifest your best and highest life. And that includes a healthy, happy, harmonious, romantic union with your twin flame. You see a lot of people probably early on their journey, or simply a lot of people who don't know enough about the journey, who haven't been through the trials and tribulations of the journey, speaking a lot about twin flames. And one of the things that I hear often is, oh, twin flames, it's not meant to be a romantic union, it's a spiritual union. And my question to you is, what is spiritual and what is not? Everything is spiritual. Everything is God, including your romantic union. Whenever you read something and it feels off to you, that's probably because it is. Deep in your heart, you know that you long for a romantic union with your twin flame. Why would God put a desire such as this in your heart if it were not meant to be? Wouldn't it be cruel on God's part? So the short answer is yes. All the true desires of your heart, all your soul callings are meant to be. I let that sink in. Because I am here to tell you today that your intuition is your best and highest guide. Some of us may have been on the journey for a little longer than others, and we have been called to share our experiences with you. But please do not take anything as doctrine, because everybody's journey and everybody's path is unique. There definitely are a lot of commonalities on this journey. I see a lot of similar issues coming up. The issue of a karmic partner, soulmates with whom your twin flame might currently be in a relationship with, good or bad. And I refuse to subscribe to this view that all karmic partners are evil and the karmic partner is someone who is ruining his life. No, not necessarily. Maybe they are in a soulmate relationship with your twin flame. Maybe lessons are there to be learned. And that person, the karmic partner, has his or her twin flame too. A wiser thing to do on the journey would be to ask for the lessons or the spiritual gift in any situation that you're going through. And more importantly, to wish everybody on their journey their highest good. And that is the attitude that will get you closer and in sacred union with your twin flame. An attitude of acceptance, an attitude of gratitude for the small blessings in life, and an attitude of unconditional love for all. So let's begin a reading, and I would also like to take this opportunity to talk about an e-course that I am creating for twin flames on their journey, because like I've said, a lot of situations are common across twin flame unions. There's a lot that we can learn from one another. And if someone has already been through the tough approach of figuring things out, stumbling and falling and figuring things out through trial and error, there's no need for you to do the same. You can take the more efficient route, which is learning from another person's learning. That being said, I do not promulgate the view that this is the only way to get into sacred union. There are many wonderful people out there with a lot of content. But the one thing that I will promise to you through this course is sincere intent and high quality work that is laced with integrity. So let's get started. Okay. It's very interesting that the card that I first pulled is purpose. Let's talk about twin flame missions and twin flame life purpose work. The same thing. I choose to call it life purpose. Every soul on this planet has a unique soul blueprint. You came onto earth with a specific set of innate gifts and talents. Some of you could just write wonderful essays when you were a kid in school. Some of you could just sing beautifully without specific training. Some of you could just stand up on a stage and orate very effectively. Where do all of these skills come from? These are gifts that your soul has carried from previous lifetimes to this lifetime. And even in this lifetime, there are very specific gifts and talents that your soul is consciously working to uncover and go deeper into. You will feel it as a calling to take up a certain course in university. Some of you might be called to join the armed forces. Some of you might be called to certain pursuits of music and art. And you will feel it as an inner push, something unexplained. And that is God guiding you towards your purpose. Likewise, your twin flame too has a unique set of talents and abilities which are completely supportive and complementary to that which you have. And when these skills come together, the image that I get is like a horse that was previously just galloping in the fields and now is like a unicorn. Your ability to serve, your ability to manifest, your ability to achieve targeted intentions becomes exponentially more powerful. When you are in alignment with your twin flame. And twin flames are encoded with a very specific life purpose. And life purpose can mean anything. So, why is a person who works as an engineer in a tech company any less important or any less spiritual than someone who works as a quote unquote light worker who is engaged in healing? The engineers behind YouTube are just as important to service because they enable you to spread your message to a worldwide audience, do they not? So purpose does not mean you give up everything and you become a monk, although that could be the case for you. Purpose could very well mean going deeper into the current job that you have with a fresh lease of enthusiasm and commitment, and probably fresh inspiration for something new and creative. Everybody who's truly following their heart's calling, whether you are a nurse or a lawyer or a technician or even an attendant at the grocery store, everyone is following their calling to serve the divine in whichever way the divine sees fit. And everybody has a divine place and purpose in this world. It's a very mistaken notion out there that twin flames are unique and a very small sect of special people in the world have been selected to be twin flames. Are you a twin flame? I am a twin flame. There's no such thing. Everybody has a divine counterpart, that which is called a twin soul or a twin flame. And a majority of people have their twin soul or twin flame on the planet. Some of them, their twin flames might have passed over to the other side. Some of them might not have been incarnate yet. But the majority of the people on the planet have their twin flame incarnated here on Earth. Now, whether everybody will come into contact with their twin flame, but that's for God to decide, right? I know of two twin flame couples, actually three. Two couples. One of them is legally married and they have a child, and they do not know that they're twin flames. And they're married, but I don't think they're in harmony. That's their twin flame story. They don't know that they're twin flames, and I haven't been called to let them know about it. There's another couple. They're not married, but they're very much in a loving romantic relationship, but again not in harmony, because the masculine energy in that equation, he is shying away from committing to this lady for a long-term relationship by getting married, but at the same time they cannot stay away from each other. So this results in a lot of conflict and a lot of unpleasantness, but at the same time they always keep coming back together despite their differences, and they've been together consciously in a relationship, I think, for the last 15 odd years, but they're not married yet. And there's this other couple. They've been coming, I think they've been together for less than a year, somebody that I know in my friends circle, and I was called to let one of them know that, hey, you are on a twin flame journey. And I think they're not in union right now. So in this case, one of the partners in the relationship is in the runner chaser phase, and I was called to let the other person know that are you aware there's such a thing as twin flames? And I was called to explain about my journey to this person, and to also give a confirmation that this person that you can't get over and you can't seem to move on from, well, she's your twin flame. Actually, there are a couple more twin flames that I see in my reality, in extended friends, and so I think there's another couple that I know, but I think I've given examples. So neither of them are in sacred union. So sacred union means you know that you're twin flames, you know that you are one being, and you are living a happy, harmonious life of mutual love and respect, commitment, and service to the divine. So that to me means sacred union. So you would be mistaken if you thought that twin flames are some sort of a special sect of people descended from somewhere else. No. Everybody is special, and everybody is unique in their own way. God wouldn't have it any other way, right? Now, why have some of you manifested your twin flame? And why some people are still stuck in karmic relationships? But there's a lot of depth to each soul's journey, and we cannot judge that someone who is still with a soulmate is not as ascended as you who has manifested your twin flame. No, because I know of many people who are in very happy relationships with soulmates and who embody Christ consciousness in beautiful ways. And I know many people who are on a twin flame journey who probably talk a lot of spirituality. So here's the thing, right? Talking about Christ consciousness is not the same as being in Christ consciousness. And the essence of the twin flame journey is being love. So love is the purpose, is the clear message that I'm getting from this card. Your first and foremost mission as a human being, because everybody is, like I said, everybody has a twin flame. So your first and foremost mission on your twin flame journey is embodying unconditional love. Okay, that feels complete. I will be doing an extended version of this video, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. So yeah, that's such a beautiful card to get. It says purpose and beloved. Like I said, the very first step on your mission work is being love. Understanding that you are love. Love is not something that you seek outside of yourself. Your twin flame is not someone outside of yourself. That's such a beautiful card to get, and even if you look at the imagery, it really looks like twin flame love, right? Prepare for your life partner. Romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are lovable. And here's another thing. There have been many times on my journey where I was frustrated with, I was going through an illusion of separation where I kept thinking my twin is behaving like this, and he's doing this and he's doing that. Well, your twin is not really doing anything that you are not also doing on some level. But I was in that phase a year or two ago. And it's very important to note that being in twin flame union is a part of your life purpose. So they are not two separate things. It's not like there's this relationship with my twin flame and there's my life purpose. No. Because I question God many times. I would really like to serve God. There's so many ideas that I have. There's so much inspiration that you've already given me. My twin seems to be doing his own thing. I'll serve. I'll get down to work. Allow me to start doing the things that you have envisioned for us together. And God kept pushing me back and saying, your first step is to make the romantic union work. And that's, it's not an easy thing, right? Because it seems as though God is asking you to get another person to do something. Because how are you in control of your twin accepting you, loving you, committing to you? But there's the illusion. There's only you. You and your twin are one at the core. And God's directive to me is very clear. Every time that I sit down with inner work and I keep asking questions, God, about work, or how do we do this, or how do we do that, God keeps, for the most part, directing me back to issues in my romantic union and says, let's talk about this first. And this is not working in your twin flame union because these are the blocks. And interestingly, these blocks are mirrored in your life purpose as well. And vice versa. A lot of times when I work on my life purpose blocks, I find that communication with my twin flame becomes easier. Okay, so let's get some more cards for, I feel called to pull some energies for the masculine and feminine, okay? So the divine masculine, or let's do it this way, right? So the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And let's pull a card for the union energies. Wow, that's a really beautiful message. So for the divine feminine, we get a new romantic cycle begins. So a lot of divine feminines I have noticed have been through a tough period of clearing, especially in the last 1 month. And a lot of root chakra issues came up, issues around home, security, stability, physical safety. A lot of past life issues must have surfaced around physical safety and trauma. So this could very much herald a new way of relating to romance in your twin flame union. For some of you, this could mean more communication with your twin flame. For some of you, this could simply mean you come into peace with yourself and surrender to the divine, and you're able to live your life in love, even though your twin flame is not next to you right now. But you're happy nonetheless. And for some of you specifically, I get the message that some of you are being called into soulmate relationships. And whether that is a good or a bad thing, it really depends on the individual soul. You need to look at the deeper intent as to why are you pursuing this other lead. Are you doing it out of resentment? Then no, it's not the right thing to do. You're probably better off doing inner work and staying on your twin flame journey. Some of you might be called towards soulmate relationships, and if that guidance to you comes from a place of love, peace, and acceptance, then that's probably the right thing for you to do. Maybe there are lessons that you need to learn. Probably there's some healing that this soulmate will provide for you. Maybe your twin needs to go off and do something on his own for a couple of months or a year. So always look at the intent behind the action, and you will know whether it's the right action for you or not. And some of you do need to be in that soulmate relationship right now. So if you're getting that call and that call feels guided, then follow that call. But please don't seek a soulmate out of like a rebound phenomenon or something. That's not going to end well for anybody. And very soon you're going to, your twin will probably, and the worst thing that you can do is to dangle a soulmate in front of your twin flame's face just to make them jealous. So what will end up happening is they might come back for a day or two, or for the word that I'm getting is a night or two, and they're going to leave soon after, and that's just going to leave you all the more frustrated and all the more broken. So do the things that you're doing for the right reasons. Let's just pull another clarification card. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. For some of you who are trying to seek a soulmate situation, just bring love into the situation. It's also not fair to the person that you are using as a rebound. And again, at the risk of being repetitive, I'm getting the same message again, that some of you are being guided by the divine to seek a soulmate relationship at this point in time. And for some of you, that indeed is the right course of action. So that's that. And the message for the masculine was be bold and make the first move. So this is a situation where you've been out of contact for a long time, and very clearly, and I previously did a video which spoke about third party situations and karmic partners, and some cases where the masculine has come out of a third party situation only to find himself in the dating game again. I'll link that video to the end of this video, and you can probably look that up. I don't want to repeat the messages, but the summary of that video was the masculine is weaving a very complex web of lies and stratagems, so to speak, to kind of keep the feminine stuck and waiting where she is so that she'll not move on while he does his jig, right? And that's part of the healing that he's going through, and that's what this card indicates as well. What do you need to release? And a lot of them need to release their desire to control. And the specific guidance that's coming for the masculine is that this card says, in every moment the universe is conspiring to bring me towards right-minded thinking and the energy of love. So be bold and make the first move. Again, should not be interpreted as a way for the masculine to just have dominion over his feminine. No, he needs to approach this move through the lens of love, because a lot of them, they make a move, they just ensure that things are where they are. Oh, she still loves me, okay, I'm safe, and then they kind of run in the other direction. So he is not entirely in a place of peace and surrender, but he definitely is thinking about making a move. And the union energies clearly speak that there's still a lot to release. And even if this move does manifest in the physical as a text or a call, you're still going to be faced with a lot of blocks to clear. I'm just going to pull another guidance card for the union energies. Wow, the Star card. And what I'm getting for the feminine especially is, the message that's coming through is water your own pond. It's interesting, even, the imagery of both of these cards is this lady with a jug of water. It's a new moon in Aquarius. So when you focus on your inner work, it's going to be very healing for your twin flame as well. More or less feels complete. So let's look at what the masculine is consciously thinking about his feminine and what's on his heart space, and we'll do the same for the feminine. And then I'm going to go over into the extended version where we'll talk more about the twin flame journey. We'll talk more about how do you handle a situation where there's a third party involved. We'll talk about some experiences. I'll give you examples of situations from my own journey, and across a year or two, how my way of handling it has completely changed. And my twin exited his long-term karmic relationship about 6 months ago. And that is a testament to the inner work that I did, because I did nothing in the external. Every day it would be a conversation with spirit, and it would be God and the angels bringing me my work. And I was completely committed to my inner work, and I was blocked from all other activities for nearly a year. And I was living off my savings, and God was like, this is what you need to dedicate your time to. And that manifested as without any external stimulus from my side, my twin completely dissolving negative relationships in his life, and even the legal paperwork and everything has been complete for him. It was a major milestone on my journey. Major milestone. And all that happened only because of inner work. And I'm going to guide you how to do that inner work step by step, issue by issue. So let's look at the energies for the Divine Masculine. So let's start with this. What is he consciously thinking about the Divine Feminine? So for my audience, what messages do you have, God? Okay, Archangel Sandalphon would like to be a part of this reading. And the Prophet Ezekiel would like to join as well. Welcome and thank you for your guidance. Okay. Okay. So your masculine here has been single for a while. He has been single for a while. No third party. I don't really see a third party situation, although I do see some sexual energy leaks. Some, maybe he's just going on a couple of dates here and there, but nothing serious. I don't see a long-term third party in this situation, and even if there is a third party in this situation, he absolutely has no relationship or connection to her whatsoever. There's really no love in that situation, and they probably also have not been physically intimate for a long time. I really don't sense I don't sense a bond of love at all. So he has been vacillating a lot. So he knows that this is a spiritual relationship. He knows that this is love like no other. He knows that nobody, especially the person he is with or the person that he has recently just left behind, none of those people can give him this feeling. He knows that. But he's just kind of juggling. It's the image that I get is somebody with, you like these stress balls, and you just keep playing with the stress ball and you just keep moving it from one hand to the other without really doing anything about it. So he's really, so the energy that underlies this indecision is panic. It's a spiritual terror of sorts. A terror that, oh my God, I'm not in control of my life. and it's this absolute fear of the unknown. And it's a very existential fear that humanity carries deep in our unconscious. And that is the fear that is being triggered right now. So on the surface, he may look like he's very cool and blasé and not very concerned about this relationship, but underneath it there's a lot of terror. I'm getting the word terror. So that's that. And he really wants to spruce himself up. He probably wants to get himself in shape, get his finances in order. A lot of them have taken a major beating over the last 1 or 2 years, especially. And I know for me that over the last 1 year, I was completely blocked from going to the gym. I was completely blocked from physical exercise of any sort, because the energy that I was carrying on a day-to-day basis was so hard and so heavy. I was wiped out. I barely had energy to just like wake up and have my meals and just get my basic daily activities in order, and that does not include work. And I think I've been up and about only for the last couple of weeks or so, and God has been guiding me into my life purpose. But the last year or more has been me engaged in heavy energetic clearing, and that was all guided. And that manifested as me putting on a lot of weight, and my health took a beating. But that's probably the path that my soul chose, that I'm going to pick a quick path, and it's probably going to be grueling for about 2 years, but I'm just going to like go deep, go fast, and get it done. And that's fine by me, because it'll probably just take a couple of months in the gym to get back into shape. And what I'm getting for the masculine is they've been through something similar. So they're probably out of shape, they probably have lost a lot of money, a lot of shame around finances is coming up. And they want to spruce themselves up, make themselves look good in your eyes before they approach you with that offer, right? So the Page of Pentacles, the very nice confirmation for be bold and make the first move, because the Page of Pentacles to me indicates someone who's thinking about making an offer, coming forward with a message. So he's really thinking about it, but this is what is going on in his, in the deeper subconscious. Right? So this is what he's thinking about consciously. Let's see what's on his heart space about his feminine. Okay, wow. Nice. Wow, very, very positive energy. So he is able to get a grip on his emotions, and even if he is experiencing fears, the word self-sabotage patterns is coming up. So he is able to recognize these patterns and fears in himself, and he is doing research online. Some of them are buying books on spirituality. Some of them are even talking to their friends about it. So he's coming into emotional and spiritual maturity. And the King of Cups is a very loving, emotionally mature, a person who has it together, right? He's really building up his emotional intelligence. Because a lot of the masculines have behaved in very childish ways. They've been acting out. And this is where a lot of his conscious effort is going into. And he's doing it for you. Because he truly understands that you're the one. And he also understands that this is the way. And it's very beautiful the way these cards fell as well, because here you see someone who's growing into his emotional maturity, and that is followed by a turn in the Wheel of Fortune. There's like a turn in the tide, and that is going to result in a loving, happy family. So this is a very beautiful card that indicates sacred union. And he has this on his heart space. He wants to change. He wants to give you that happy family. He just needs some time to get there. Right? Cool. So let's look at the guidance for the feminine. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail in the extended, where I will talk about specific shadow aspects, archetypes, and some examples from the twin flame journey, and I'll be pulling some guided messages for you, and I will also be doing a guided healing and meditation in the extended version. So if some of you are facing the runner chaser cycle in your relationship, your twins are ghosting you, they behave as though they don't care about you, they're very rude to you. What is the truth behind this situation? I go into that in detail in the extended version. So be sure to check that out, and the link is going to be in the description box below. Okay. Wow. Very, very positive and very, very beautiful cards. So again, in keeping with this card that says a new romantic cycle begins, so this is what the Divine Feminine is thinking about consciously. She feels that she has received her mission from the Divine, and she's raring to go. She's really charged up about her desire and ability to serve, and she's okay doing it by herself for the time being, even without her twin flame. And it's a very beautiful energy that I'm getting. A lot of confidence, a lot of self-sufficiency, a lot of self-love. That's what the Sun card indicates to me, that a lot of you feminines, you're going deeper into the lesson of self-love. And that's really beautiful. Some of you have been doing some deep inner child healing, and that's really showing in your physical is what I'm getting, and that's really nice. And yeah, so you are onto your mission work, really have come to a sunny disposition is the word that's coming up. So even though a lot of us are self-quarantining ourselves at home, you can still do a lot of things that you enjoy. Read a good book, watch the show that you always wanted to but never had the time to, pick up a new skill or hobby, learn to read the tarot. There's so many exciting things that you can do And the message that I'm getting is this segment of the collective that I'm picking up the energies for, you guys are. You're really making the best of your situation, is what I'm getting. However, that desire for union still burns in your heart, and that's a good thing. So what Spirit wants you to know, that this is not an either or situation. All of these come together. You don't need to detach from your twin flame in the sense that you don't need to forget about them. So when you say detach, you only detach from the outcome. You don't detach from the desire. And I go into a lot of these details in the extended. So what does it mean to detach from your twin flame? Because I can't detach from my twin flame. I love him every second of every day. But I'm completely detached to how he behaves with me in return. I'm completely detached to any expectation or outcome. But I never ever detach from loving him in my heart, never. So what does real surrender mean? What does real detachment mean? Because there's a lot of wrong information out there. So that's the message for you. Detachment does not mean ignoring your desire. Your desire has been placed in your heart for a reason, and God wants you to have that loving, happy family with your twin flame. Yeah. Let's look at what's in the heart space for the feminine. Okay. Interesting cards. God, to pull out one more card. Okay. So the clear message that's coming through is what's been bothering you, Divine Feminines, is that your twin has been playing footsie with you and the union. So he's very in and out. He commits to meeting you and then he doesn't show up. He commits to getting something done and then where is he? Just vanished. So this behavior of, I'm getting the word sly, deceitful, and I'm getting the image of someone who's kind of looking at you from behind a glass pane, someone who's very slyly observing you. So your twin is really observing you, and he may behave as though he's not very interested, or he needs some time, but your twin is keenly observing you, probably on social media, probably asking about you. He's probably asking a lot of common friends about you. But this behavior I'm picking up on a sly and deceitful kind of undertone, and that comes back to issues around control, right? So you're still trying to control these. See, there you go, envy. Wow. So they're envious of the fact, so what I said previously, your sunny disposition, they are envious of your sunny disposition. And they feel that because you are now in a happy place in your life, you seem to have found a new career opportunity, maybe made new friends. Some of you have joined spiritual communities and you've found a lot of support there. So you're making new friends, and there's a whole new avenue that has opened up for you, and that is triggering a lot of envy and possessiveness in your twin. And that's the low vibration energy that a lot of you are feeling. So some of you are probably flooded with a lot of this discomforting, sharp, low vibration energy that feels very suffocating. So spirit is telling you is that jealousy energy that's coming up within your twin flame for release, right? And energetically, since you're connected, you are feeling that as well, and that's not a very pleasant energy to experience. And the other card that came up was humor. So exactly, that's exactly what I said. So he looks at you being happy. He's wondering, has she forgotten about me? Because for the longest time, he remembers you as being despondent and being in despair and being completely heartbroken over him. And to a lot of the masculines, it kind of worked to build up their ego, to have you pining over them. It really kind of bolstered their ego, right? And suddenly you have found your spiritual power, and they don't know that. So they're wondering, is there somebody else? Is she seeing someone else? Has she forgotten about me? And so that's probably why they're trying to so that's what I'm getting. So they're trying to make the move just to check on you, but they're nowhere near sacred union yet. I'm just going to be honest here. For those of you whom this reading resonates, and it may not resonate for some of you, and don't make it fit if it doesn't resonate. Some messages will and some won't. He clearly has a lot of inner work and a lot of beliefs around control, power, the shadow side of power, a lot of these beliefs. And the feminine is feeling that on her heart space, this energy that's coming from the twin. And she also intuitively senses that he wants to come forward and make some sort of an offer or acknowledgement. She senses that intuitively. And let's get another card for why is the King of Swords here. But she's not entirely sure if that will be a pleasant experience. Yeah, there you go. So he is going to come forward and say something, but it's not going to be vulnerable or entirely truthful. He's just doing his thing where he tries to loop you around his little finger, and he's still stuck in that phase. He is still very much in an energy of sizing up the situation. He's really upset about you moving on. You may not be moving on, you're probably just claiming your power, but that to your twin flame looks like you're moving on. And he really feels that, and that's causing a lot of tower moments for him. Deep fear and panic is what I'm receiving. So let this situation play out. I'll do another reading, and probably next week, let's see how the situation plays out. And in the extended, I will be looking at what are the specific blocks that you can clear You don't have to wait for your masculine to do anything. You can just look at what they're doing, mirror it back onto yourself, ask for guidance from the divine, ask the divine and the angels to show you your work, and be a champ and do your inner work. And why leave it to fate when you can manifest exactly what you want? You surrender the outcome always, but doing the work is always in your hands, right? And we go into a lot of detail about what work is coming up for those of you for whom this reading resonates with. I go into detail in the extended, and I'm going to see you in the extended. I'm going to leave you with one final guidance card. For those of you who are not going into the extended, I'm just going to leave you with some guidance over here. That's for the feminine, and that's for the masculine. Wow. And it's interesting how even the cards came up with a feminine in the picture and a masculine in the picture. So for the masculine, the guidance is trust in the plan. So releasing your need to control, surrendering to the divine, and trusting that there is a higher benevolent force that is guiding us to our best and highest life. So, and for the feminine, the guidance is that if you've already been doing your inner work, then great. Surrender, keep surrendering, because you may feel that you've surrendered to the journey. You may feel that you've made choices around self-worth, you've made choices around love, but this journey calls you into deeper and deeper levels. Calls you deeper into love, calls you to recognize that you're worthy of more and more. And claim all of the love and abundance that God has in store for you. Just claim it. Like, you see how this lady, she's throwing her arms up, and it says God is showering her abundance every second of every day. All you need to do is open your arms and receive. Yeah. Alright guys, so I enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful for you, and see you over in the extended version. Bye.